from. Hi, this is Andy Mann and Jen Jenkins, and we're here for the Learning on the Lakeshore Wednesday webinar. We appreciate you tuning in or watching this from the recording. This is being recorded on April 27th, a Wednesday, and Jen is a middle school teacher at Orchard View, and she's going to share how, when you have to be gone, how you can have everything ready so the day's not a lost instructional day for your kids. So Jen's going to run over to her Chromebook, and I'm going to be quiet, and she doesn't have a webcam. So if you do have questions while she's getting all set up, there you can click the little nine squares up on the top. I'll mute her for a minute. You can click the little 9 squares up on the top, and there's a little pop-up that will show up that will say questions. I'm also going to populate something that's called the showcase, and that's also up there. It looks like little garage store tags, and I'll put the links to the 4 or 5 different websites that Jennifer is going to be highlighting. I do want to highlight 2 things, sort of my commercial message before we start here. And so one is that over here on the Learning on the Lakeshore site, this is where this recording will be located afterwards. Just learningonthelakeshore.org, and you can click Wednesday webinars. So this recording right here is where you can watch the archive of it, and down here below it is a link to the presentation that Jen created to help support, just sort of some links to help you know some of the things that she did. There's also a link up here on the top corner that will show up to the sub-day Make It Count. I also would like to mention that there is another program going on that's called the Chromebook Online Academy. This is a bi-weekly training that I do. It's free, and every 2 weeks I have a different topic. Last time was assessment, and there's a page full of different resources related to assessment, and my 75-minute presentation is also recorded. So here's a little slideshow that was put together. Here are some links. This Thursday it will be on YouTube, and again, those are all recorded. You can watch them live, or you can come back and watch the archive version. They are also available for sketches. So with that, let me stop broadcasting and put Jennifer up, and I will be back.
All right, thank you, Andy. Thank you for tuning into my webinar, Sub-Day Make It Count. This is Jennifer Jenkins hosting. Anytime throughout this webinar, or even after you watch it, if you watch it after it's recorded, you'll feel free to email me at mrsjenkins@yahoo.com if you have any questions. All right, so originally I came up with this idea for this because I am out of the classroom quite often, different committees that I am a part of. And, you know, I'd write up these sub-plans, and I wanted great lessons where kids were learning a lot, and I'd spend all this time on them, and then the sub would come in. And it was kind of chaos, and I kind of attribute it to 2 different things. A lot of our subs don't have the same management skills that teachers do, and also just the content area. I teach technology and math, and those are tend to be harder content areas for a sub to walk into. So therefore I was thinking, okay, how can I make sub plans so that my students are still learning? It's a counted day where it's not like, let's just play a video. And I realized that I really need to be there and be part of the class, even though I'm not there. And I also wanted to kind of instill some type of knowledge of my my management and how I run the class to the sub, for them to kind of help out with the management. So today's objectives, hopefully you will learn how to teach your students when you're not there using technology. You'll also be able to use technology to direct your substitutes into kind of how you want them to do. That's that management piece. And hopefully you'll have a great time learning some new technology. First and foremost, really, if you are going to have students use technology when you're not there, they need a spot where they can quickly and easily go to get the links to go to where they want to be. It's a nightmare to, put the web address into your subplans, and then the sub will have to write that on the board, and then the kids have to type it in. You know, half the time, half of them can't even get there. So I would suggest creating a website. Now, if you are thinking, oh my goodness, a website is so hard to create, it can be just a simple one-page website where you just simply, you know, maybe put the classes you teach or the grades, where it might say, you know, 7th grade, and underneath it, bam, 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 couple of links. Nothing super fancy. Again, just for a quick access for your students to get to the web tools that you want to use. Here are some websites that I would suggest. Ironically, they all start with W. That totally wasn't planned. The first one is Weebly. Weebly, I would say, is the easiest to use, very user-friendly. Drop and drag, here's a text box, type it in, kind of thing, and it makes really nice websites. WordPress is one I actually use for my classroom web site. It's actually a blog, so therefore you can have it where students can comment on the different pages, but you can actually shut the comment feature off, so then it works more like a website. The last one I have on there is Wix. That's another one I use. I love Wix. Wix is a lot more fancier than the other two, has a lot of different components, has kind of a coding component if you're more into that. And it's, I think, more of a professional looking, but it does take a lot more time to use Wix. But again, it's a location where students can access the links where you want to go to when you're not there. All right, so I had the website. You're free to go on. It's jenkinsj@wix.com/learningtechnology. And with that, if you go to the workshop link and then go to Subday Make It Count, this is kind of the content that I'm going to go through, so you know, feel free to check that out. As I'm going through this, I will go to the websites and show you kind of a quick synopsis on how to create these things. First is a talking avatar. There's lots of different sites that allow you to do some kind of talking avatar. It's great because you can actually be there. You can be that talking avatar, explaining, teaching your students, talking to the substitute teacher on what you want them to do next and when you want them to do it. My favorite is Voki. Voki.com. Here's the link to it. If you're watching this and want another tutorial, this is a website that will show you how to create one and different ways to upload it to different things. Here is my example. We have Abe Lincoln here, and Abe Lincoln is actually going to explain a little bit about himself. So let me play a little bit of this here. Can they hear this?
How Illinois is referred to as the land of Lincoln, because I was an adult by the time I lived there. My childhood started in Kentucky, and then I spent some time in Indiana. My mother passed away when I was 9 years old.
So with that, Lincoln's kind of going on, telling a little bit about himself. I hope you heard that. That was through my classroom speakers as opposed to my computer that I'm using right now. But at the end, Lincoln will say, okay, substitute teacher, if you could please hand out the half sheet of paper on my desk, and then you can have Abraham Lincoln say, you know, they're allowed to work in pairs, or I want them to work, you know, alone on this. So then again, that's you explaining to the sub what to do, and then the students know, hey, that's what, you know, you want them to do. Sometimes they figure, you know, it's a free-for-all and everybody can sit there and copy each other, and maybe you want them to work alone on that. So this is the avatars. So if I go to the Voki website, I'm logged in right here. The Voki website actually just upgraded about a week ago, and unfortunately it's limiting some of its free sources, but let me show you how you're going to create these. These are some that I've already created. It's very easy. If I go to create a Voki, a random one will pop up, and here we got some kind of weird wormy thing. You can change the eye color, the mouth, the skin. You can add clothes. You can even change him if you don't want the worm. Maybe a hot dog is what you desire. There are some of them that if I scroll through here, let's see here, that have, where Where's my VIP category? Some of them that have, oh, here we go, graduation hats. If they have graduation hats, unfortunately that is for the paid version instead of the free version, but there's tons of free different ones that you want. Once you get your avatar looking like you want it to, you can change the background here too. Simply give it a voice. Very easy. You can use your cell phone and call in and just talk right through your cell phone. That'll give its voice. You can use your microphone. You can use a file that you've already created on your computer and upload it. Or old standard, if you like that computer voice, it is typing it on the computer, and you can pick a variety of different accents. Still, sometimes the weird pronunciation that it has sometimes appears. And then when you are done, you're just going to publish it, although I can't publish it without it saying something. So we're just going to have it say, hi. So then when I go to publish it, I usually, if you have an account, you can put a name on it. You can actually get in here without having an account. And voila, here it is. You can upload it to Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Here's the link. So here you can just copy and paste it right to your website, so you can use it off your website. Unfortunately, my example of my Abraham Lincoln was an embedded code, and they want you to pay for it now. But actually, the link works fine. They click the link, and a new window opens with your avatar right there, so it's nice and easy to use. All right, if we scroll down here, the second thing that I use a lot is screencasting. So basically a screencast is taking a video of what you are doing on the computer. And this, again, basically this is me teaching my own lesson on converting words to algebra. I did this very simply. I use Screencast-o-Matic. Screencast-o-Matic is a free site. I like it. Start recording. I believe you have about 15 minutes of recording that you can do. I never make anything more than 10. I don't even think I've made a 10-minute one. But the cool thing about this is it uploads directly to YouTube. So then you can take the YouTube link and share it with your students. Now, what did I use to actually screencast? You're looking right here at a Word document. And simply for a Word document, I created some shapes in Word, I put colors in them, and I am just typing. So hopefully you can hear this. I'm going to play just a little bit of this.
Hi everybody. The next week or so we're going to start focusing on algebra and understanding the concept behind algebra. And we start by using colored triangles. If you notice, I have 6 colored triangles here, and I have 3 different colors. What we're going to And I also could say, let's see here, there is one, there's one less green than blue.
So therefore, I'm just kind of going with some examples, and then we take those sentences and convert them to algebra. Within that video, that's a 7-minute video, I say, okay, substitute, please stop. Have them go on their board space and draw a few colored triangles, and then they have to write it. So they're kind of getting up, doing it, coming back, listening, and so forth. So you have that organization piece of how you want it to be run and directing the sub. And then also they're listening to your voice, and they are getting the instruction that you want them to. All right. The next one here. Oh, yeah. If I go back up here. There are a variety of different programs. I use Screencast-o-Matic, and that doesn't work well with Chromebook. But there's also Screencast-ify, which is an extension on the Chromebook, and also Snagit. So different ways you can do screencasting here. All right, jumping down to Edpuzzle. Now, if you tuned in last week, Colleen did Edpuzzle. She did an awesome job. And I love, love, love Edpuzzle. Basically, with Edpuzzle, you can use videos that have already been created. So if you're like, oh my goodness, I have no time to make videos, go to YouTube. YouTube has videos on everything. And once you log into Edpuzzle, you can actually do a YouTube video search right through Edpuzzle, and YouTube is not the only videos that it searches. And once you find a video you like, it allows you to put your own questions here. So those are those little green question marks there. So therefore, you know, as they're watching the video, it will stop, ask them a question. I'm in guest mode right there, so when they type in the answer to their question, it's not saved. So this would be a great way to have the substitute maybe play it on a screen where you don't have a one-to-one kind of setting, where the substitute can play it and then pause the question, and they can even do a handout to answer the questions individually, or maybe they just, you know, talk to the substitute and the substitute will type in the answer to the question. You can also, with Edpuzzle, add comments. So maybe all of a sudden there's something that you had just talked about in class. You might stop the video and your voice will come on and say, hey, don't forget, we talked about this last week, and what did we decide last week when we talked about this? So kind of driving and pulling up their prior knowledge to a topic. Or you can set up, and again, this is all free, you can set up classrooms where they can individually log in, do the videos, answer the questions, and you can grade and you can see their answers. I have this open right here. These are the ones that I've assigned right now. What I do in my math classes, a lot of them have individual assignments, so if they missed a concept, they can kind of go back and do it. So when they log in, my 8th graders, I usually have directed, okay, you're going to do the division one, or you're going to do the Pythagorean theorem one. And then if I go to progress, it looks like nobody's in and done this, but if you scroll all the way down, the 2 people that were assigned to this one have done it. And when I click on them, I can see the questions. This one was just simply them trying it once. It was one example, a very short video, and they just had to do the answer for me. If I go to my content on Edpuzzle here, these are the ones that I've already created. The question mark means I've added questions, and the red scissors means that I've cropped it. So if you don't want the whole video to happen, you can kind of crop it down to your focus that you want. Let's say I want to create a new one. These are all the different channels that they search for videos. So basically, yes, you could totally find a video on everything. So it's another thing. This works probably best with if they're one-to-one, so they can each do it by themselves. But again, you can show it on a screen, and they can do it individually. One example I have here that I've just done recently, this is my website here. By the way, this was made out of WordPress. And if I go to 8th grade math, I have the date, and I have, again, the people who I want them to do certain things. So these 2 people actually would log into Edpuzzle, and they were to do the math video. And after they answered that, their focus was doing Math Frog and getting 10 questions right. Once they got 10 questions right, they would let me know, and they got credit for that. And again, it's a great way to individualize instruction, especially when you're not there, and you can have the video teach for you. So that's kind of an example how I use that. All right, scrolling down, last but not least is blend space. Blend space, a lot of people say, well, it's kind of like PowerPoint. They go through slides. But the cool thing is you can add questions to it. You can have a lesson where they go through different things, click on different links. They can comment to each other. It's a free site. There's a lot of these blend spaces that have already been created by different teachers. Let me show you the order of operation one that I have created. This is my blend space right here. Again, this works the best probably if you have a one-to-one. Sometimes this is a little hard to do with a big screen. But if I go to order of operations here, this is what they will see, because you go to share, this is the link that you would put on your website. So this is what they would see, and then they would hit play, and then they would just kind of go through the lessons. You know, I have short little tutorials. They can add comments, ask me questions. You can share it where they're just answering them, and they are you know, not logged in. Right now I don't have any classes set up. I have different areas where they turn things in and not blend space, but you can set it up where they can do the things and record their answers in Blend Space. Here I've embedded a video so they can click on the video and watch the video. I always try to do it in a certain color, and then always my red writing means there's an assignment. So on this page is an assignment. This is kind of old. I actually use Google Classroom now, but back when I used Moodle, they would have to do this assignment before they could go on to the next. So here now is a game online. They play it. Once they've reached the top, I would just have them do a screenshot and then turn that screenshot into me to prove that they did it. So they would just kind of go through these different lessons, and again, look for the red. Kind of helps it stand out so they know exactly, you know, what they have to do. Very, very easy to make. These are just slides. Basically, you pick how many slides you want. In the edit form, it kind of looks like a mini word processor that you type it in. You can, with the source, you can embed, you can link things. Very, very easy to use. The other cool thing about Blend Space is you can search. And there's a lot of other teachers that have created awesome lessons on Blend Space that will fit with your curriculum that you can use. All right. That's about it there. I hope this works for you. Please let me know. Also, if you know any other awesome ideas that you do when there's a sub, you know, do shoot me an email. Again, Mrs. Jenkins Computer Class at yahoo.com, and thank you so much for watching.
All right. There we go. Oh, thank you. I apologize for that awful sound in there. We're working on multiple devices, and we always have to remember to mute things in between it. So I'm looking to see if there's any questions. It looks like we don't have any questions right here today. But let me take an opportunity to once again thank Jennifer for sharing today, and I'll once again here take a minute, and I will come over here, and you should be seeing me now, and I'll have Jen wave in just a minute too, but I'll go ahead and share a couple of things here that she showed us. So let me bring back up that she mentioned Edpuzzle, a great way. Edpuzzle is a cool little website for adding questions or audio commentary. She also talked about Blend Space, which was recently bought by TES, but there's a lot of great things. Blend Space actually uses a freemium model where they give you so much for free, and then there are some advanced features you can pay a fee for. And then she also talked about Voki. Once again, her presentation is out here on the Learning on the Lakeshore. So right here you can watch the presentation, and also her slides are down here, and we're making it so these things she talked about up here are also hyperlinks. So I do want to also mention that Jennifer and her colleague Colleen are going to be doing a Learning on the Lakeshore pre-conference, and it's on August 15th at Orchard View High School. You can get a description of it here. It's only $30 for the entire day. We have a great collection of workshops scheduled. I'll pull that up right now as we're speaking. You have 6 to choose from in the morning and 6 to choose from in the afternoon, and for $30 for the whole day with lunch. And so here's the morning sessions, and then down here on the second page you'll see the afternoon sessions. They're coming up here slowly. And one of the afternoon sessions down here on the bottom is called Say Cheese. Get ready to go on an image adventure as you explore how to use images in educational settings. So lots of different fun ways, from Google Drawing to editing photos to fun different sites that let you use images in a digital scavenger hunt. So that would be with Jim and with Jennifer and Colleen on August 15th, and you can sign up back over on our Learning on the Lakeshore site. There's a link to register right in here. A great way to spend a summer here in Muskegon. So let me stop presenting that screen, and Jennifer and I just want to once again say thank you
Thanks.
and appreciate you tuning in, and you have a good night. Bye.